So future workplace for me is WWW. It is work, workplace and worker. Talent basically. So talking about what can impact the economic landscape, it is primarily the technology. So technology is really going to redefine how do we do business, how do we create the impact on the talent market, and how do we also grow our business operations with the products and services that we offer. Second dimension, looking at the technology aspect, look at the AI, right? Gen AI, and the kind of enablement it has done. Look at the hybrid work model, thanks to the technology that has become a reality. And if you look at today, the talent which is sitting across continent is collaborating and co-creating certain things with the help of technology. The next dimension comes to my mind is the demographic shifts from a people standpoint, which is also changing the landscape as far as the economy and social construct is there. So in India, as you know, we have like more than 70% of our workforce is now millennial. And when they come to companies like us, obviously they have certain expectations. Now the question is how companies are really going to meet and look at the work as well as the workplace dimension when you meet these expectations of millennials. And the more you go closer to their aspirations, I think it is going to help them to innovate as well as to increase the productivity for the organization. The next dimension for me is the work-life balance or work-life harmony. So it is not a luxury, it is not a want, I would say it's a need. And companies who are acknowledging, appreciating that as a fact and enabling that, I think employees will stick to those companies more. The last part is obviously DEI, diversity, equity and inclusion, and that's where I see that companies who promote or create that kind of an environment which I would say welcome people with different perspectives, thoughts and feelings, that is something again will help people to give their fullest potential and stay committed to the organization.
To answer your question, what are some of the economic and social problems? And for that you need money, you need to manufacture a lot, you need to invest a lot. And for that, workplaces or organizations, if I can call them, they need to have a purpose. At Cairn, we have a purpose, and the purpose is that we want to produce 50% of domestic crude oil production in the country. Right now, we are producing 25%. We are producing around 150,000 barrels. We want to take that across to 500,000 barrels. That is the larger purpose. The purpose is to save on oil imports and make sure that we have large enough foreign exchange with us and bring about very high levels of sustainable development through adequate, attention on the three pillars of environment, social and governance. So that is what I think the future is going to look like, because to be able to achieve all of this, you need to have a highly inclusive workplace. You need to have a technology driven workplace. You need to have a workplace which is full of ideas. And we need to have a workplace which is, as I said, a purpose driven workplace, a very, very sensitive, conscious workplace in terms of the environment around us, so that we are socially responsible, we have the highest level of governance, we have the highest amount of respect for the environment. So that's how I would see in terms of the problems that we have in the country and how it shapes the overall the agenda for the workplace, the future workplace in the globe.
So at MBRDI, we believe that people are our business and we build the future. We have to keep the approach human-centric. That means whatever we do in terms of the policies, which obviously defines the practices and processes in the company, you have to keep people at the center of it. The second dimension is we have to look at learning. So learning is a continuous process, and we have to make sure that the culture of continuous learning as well as upskilling has to be there. At MBRDI, we also say that leaders, they have to be a coach or a mentor as a guide and enable that learning so that everybody feels valued. At the same time, you understand their passion, you try to align it with the goals of the company, and that's also a kind of a role of a leader to enable that learning within the organization. The third thing I see is also to look at the purpose, and there I would talk about the cultural congruence. That means what companies they think, what they say and what they do. So think is what they think as a vision and mission, what they say as a strategy of the company, and what they do is basically the goals and the tasks and the projects and the products. So if that is in sync, that is congruence. And if people, they see this congruence in terms of the work, in terms of people, structures and culture, then they will find these four things in sync. And that's where I think people will find a meaning to their job, which is then directly linked to the company's purpose or vision and mission statements. So at MBRDI, we are at the forefront of this change by pushing, I would say, the continuous learning culture, DI aspect, which I had mentioned earlier, where you work on creating, again, the culture of, it's a diverse culture where you encourage people, motivate people, welcome people who come with different perspectives, experiences, thought processes, backgrounds, right? And they then feel motivated, engaged. And that's how we try to be with them, support them, and obviously help them grow personally and professionally.
So as I said, you have to be a very, very purpose-driven organization. And again, I would like to reiterate that we want to grow from 150,000 barrels to 200 to 300 and finally to 500,000. We want to contribute 50% of domestic crude oil production because we want to reduce the import dependency as far as oil is supposed to be concerned, so that, you know, we produce and manufacture more and more, we employ more people, we are creating opportunities for the country. So there has to be a purpose, and we are purpose-driven organization. And to be able to do all of this, you need to invest a lot. So you need to attract foreign direct investment. You need to have the right policies in the country. You need to make sure that you have the right kind of people. You have the global expertise, benchmarked practices. You have the right kind of technologies also. You have the right kind of technologies, and whatever you are doing, it has to be with a view to serving the larger purpose, which is about sensitivity towards your environment, towards your society, to be done in the best possible manner with the highest levels of governance. So that's how I think you can prepare for change.